But weather is, and this is where we are really looking at some windy challenges across the state, gusting to 32 miles per hour. You can see that out there at Navajo Lake. It's still beautiful with a few clouds out there in the sky, but it has been kind of gusty throughout the day. Same story for places like Buffalo Thunder, where right now those wind gusts are nearly 30 miles per hour, but it is nice and cool out there, 66 degrees. And that leaves us right here in the metro, cooler than we were yesterday at 74, but that wind is really just kind of cranking like it was this time yesterday, and that's what was responsible for yesterday afternoon's fire in the North Valley. Thankfully, that's out, but right now we're still under a really big red flag warning. Notice how it stretches all the way from Clayton down to areas south of Clovis, almost all across southern New Mexico and western areas of the state. This is a big chunk of territory. Now, some areas like the mountains in the southeast are left out because, quite frankly, they got a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks, but still there's an advisory, a high wind warning. That warning right here is going to be until 8 o'clock tonight, meaning that those gusts can get upwards of 60 miles per hour. But we could still see very high wind gusts in the advisory area really at any point this evening. Those gusty winds will continue to push across southeastern areas of the state for tomorrow. It will be cooler, and that's thanks to the entrance of a cold front. That'll be out of here by Friday, leaving behind mostly dry conditions. I'm expecting the breeze to pick up each afternoon across the eastern plains. That's also going to be true for Saturday as well, where it's going to be dry and mostly sunny, but again, not as windy as today. By Sunday, though, the wind will start to really crank up by the evening hours, and that takes us into another system beginning next week, which could bring back wind and dust. But for tomorrow, at least in the short term, we're looking at cooler temperatures for areas like Alamogordo and Artesia in the 80s, expecting 90s still in Carlsbad, but you can see it's much cooler in places like Corona and also Ruidoso, going to be reaching only 71 for your high tomorrow. Across the southwest region over there on the left of your screen, you can see that places like Deming, Hatch, and Las Cruces will be in the low to mid 80s. I'm expecting 60s and 70s for areas like Quemado and Reserve down towards Silver City. Mid 80s for Socorro and Truth or Consequences. So the 7-day forecast, well, it shows that we're still going to be kind of hot in areas like Roswell, 90s into the weekend. For Silver City, clear conditions and pretty mild weather. Now, in terms of what's happening tomorrow in the northern portion of the state, we're going to start with the northeast. We're looking at 60s and 70s from Cimarron, Clayton to Las Vegas, but you can see that places like Logan are going to be a little bit warmer in the 80s, calling for Mora and Raton down to Roy being in the 60s and 70s. It's also going to be mostly sunny. Now in the northwest region, including Chinle, Arizona and Cortez, Colorado, it's mid 60s to lower 70s, but you can see really region wide, it's going to be kind of a cool day. And of course, that is thanks to tonight's cold front. Rain chances on the horizon for next week for Farmington. For Las Vegas, though, staying fairly dry even into the weekend. For the North Mountains, I'm anticipating 50s in the high elevations, but 60s and 70s in lower elevations like Santa Fe. 7-day forecast keeps things in the 60s and 70s all the way through the weekend. A chance for showers on Monday. Across the East Mountains for tomorrow, I'm anticipating 60s and 70s. It's going to be a little breezy in the afternoon, but not like it is right now. Certainly not like it was yesterday. Just that, typical spring afternoon breeze throughout the metro. Most areas in the mid 70s, even to the upper 70s. We're going to be getting back to the mid 80s by Saturday, both for places like Rio Rancho and Albuquerque. But just keep in mind, it's going to be turning windy by the beginning of next week, starting as soon as Sunday.
Yeah, we just got to continue to stay vigilant. Eddie, thanks so much.